The champagne flute slipped from my fingers and shattered on the marble floor like a gunshot in the crowded room. Shards skittered across the tiles, catching the warm glow of the chandeliers. But no one noticed at first. All eyes were on us, on me, frozen mid-embrace, my arms outstretched like a fool, and on my husband Mark, who had just recoiled from me as if I were a venomous snake. "Don't touch me," he snarled, his voice slicing through the chatter like a blade. The words hung in the air, sharp and final, echoing off the high ceilings of his family's opulent estate. Laughter died. Whispers erupted. And there, in the center of it all, I stood humiliated, my face burning as if slapped. The party was for Laura's birthday. Mark's younger sister, the golden child of the family, turning 35 in a swirl of silk dresses and clinking glasses. The estate, perched on the cliffs overlooking the stormy Pacific, smelled of salt air mixed with expensive perfumes and the faint metallic tang of caviar. I dressed up for it, squeezing into that red gown Mark once said made me look irresistible, my hair curled just so. We'd been married 8 years, and though the spark had dimmed lately, late nights at work, curt texts, I thought a public hug, a simple affectionate squeeze amid the festivities, would remind everyone, including him, that we were still us. But his shove sent me stumbling back, my heel catching on the rug, and the room tilted. Laura was the first to react. She glided over from the bar, her laughter tinkling like wind chimes, a sound that always grated on me but now felt like nails on glass. "Oh, Emily, sweetie, are you okay? Mark's just had a bit too much to drink, hasn't he?" She looped her arm through his, pulling him close, her manicured fingers patting his chest as if soothing a child. Mark's face, usually so composed, strong jaw, piercing blue eyes that matched hers, softened under her touch. He didn't pull away from her. Instead, he leaned in, murmuring something low that made her giggle. The guests averted their eyes, resuming conversations in hushed tones, but I saw it. The pitying glances, the smirks behind hands. My chest tightened, a vice of fury and shame crushing my ribs. How dare he? In front of everyone, his parents, our friends, the whole damn family. I forced a smile, brittle as cracked porcelain, and bent to pick up the glass fragments. "Clumsy me," I muttered, but my voice trembled. Mark didn't help. He just stood there, arms still linked with Laura's, watching me with a detached coldness that chilled me deeper than the ocean breeze rattling the French doors. That night, as we drove home in silence, the highway lights streaking like tears across the windshield, I replayed it over and over. "Don't touch me." The words festered, a poison seeping into my veins. Was it the alcohol? Stress from his job at the law firm? Or something darker, something I'd been ignoring? The way he'd been pulling away for months, the secretive phone calls, the weekends helping Laura with her house renovations. By the time we pulled into our driveway, the suburban McMansion that once felt like a sanctuary now loomed like a prison. I slammed the car door, the sound echoing in the quiet night. "What the hell was that, Mark?" I demanded as we stepped inside, the foyer light harsh and unforgiving. He tossed his keys on the console, avoiding my eyes. "Nothing. You were being clingy." I needed space. "Clingy? At a party. Your sister's party, where everyone saw you treat me like dirt." My voice rose, cracking with the effort to hold back tears. He shrugged, heading for the kitchen, pouring himself a scotch. The ice clinked mockingly. "Laura said you overreacted." "It's not a big deal," Laura said. Always Laura. His sister, the one he idolized, the one who could do no wrong. She'd moved back to town 2 years ago after her divorce, and ever since, it was Laura this, Laura that. Dinners at her place, late-night texts, inside jokes that left me on the outside. I chalked it up to sibling closeness. Enviable, really, since my own family was scattered and distant. But now resentment bubbled up, hot and acrid. "Why does Laura get to touch you then? She had her hands all over you." He paused, glass midway to his lips, a flicker of something, guilt, crossing his face before he masked it with a laugh. "Jealous of my sister? That's pathetic, Emily." He downed the drink and brushed past me toward the stairs. his shoulder grazing mine like I was an obstacle. I'm sleeping in the guest room. That night, alone in our king-sized bed, the sheets cold and unyielding, heartbreak clawed at me. I stared at the ceiling, tracing the shadows cast by the moonlight filtering through the blinds. How had we gotten here? Mark and I met in college, bonded over late-night study sessions and dreams of a perfect life. He was ambitious, charming. I was the steady one, the graphic designer who built our home while he climbed the corporate ladder. But lately, his touches were mechanical, his kisses perfunctory. Was there someone else? The thought pierced me, a dagger twisting in my gut. No, not Mark. He wouldn't. But doubt crept in, insidious and whispering. The next morning, over coffee that tasted like ashes, I tried to bridge the gap. We need to talk about last night. He glanced up from his phone, irritation flashing. Drop it. It was a mistake. But his eyes darted away, and I noticed the screen, a message from Laura. Miss you already. Come over soon. My stomach lurched. Siblings didn't text like that, did they? I pushed the thought down, burying it under layers of denial. Work called. I had deadlines, designs to finalize. But as I sat at my desk, the computer screen blurring through unshed tears, fantasies flickered unbidden. What if I confronted her? What if I screamed at them both, exposed whatever this was? No, that was crazy. They were family. Days blurred into a haze of forced normalcy. Mark acted like nothing happened, bringing home flowers one evening, red roses, thorns pricking my fingers as I arranged them in a vase. For you, he said, kissing my cheek. But his lips felt cold, and I wondered if he'd kissed her the same way. Stop it, Emily. Paranoia gnawed at me. I started noticing things. A strand of long auburn hair on his jacket. Laura's color, not mine. His cologne lingering in the laundry, mixed with her floral perfume. One night he claimed a late meeting, but I drove by the office. Dark, empty. My heart pounded as I tailed him to her condo, watching from across the street as he disappeared inside, the lights warm and inviting. Humiliation turned to obsession. Couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. In the mirror, my reflection stared back. Hollow eyes, sharpened cheekbones. Resentment festered, a living thing coiling in my chest. Why her? His sister of all people. Was it incestuous thrill? Power? Or had I never really known him? Guilt crept in too. Guilt for suspecting, for invading his privacy by checking his phone while he showered. But there they were. Messages, deleted but recoverable in the cloud. Can't wait to feel you again. Emily suspects nothing. Love you more than anyone. Bile rose in my throat. Heartbreak shattered me anew, pieces grinding like glass underfoot. I confronted him that evening, evidence trembling in my hand. How long, Mark? With Laura. The kitchen felt too small, the air thick with the scent of the lasagna I'd burned in distraction. He froze, face paling. What are you talking about? But his denial crumbled under my glare. It's not what you think. We're close, that's all. Close. You're sleeping with your sister. The words exploded from me, raw and furious. He slumped against the counter, running a hand through his hair. She's not. It's complicated. We grew up together, but feelings changed. After her divorce, it just happened. His voice cracked, but I saw no real remorse, only fear of exposure. Please, Emily, don't tell anyone. It would destroy us. Not me. The betrayal hit like a wave, drowning me in rage. I stormed out, driving aimlessly through the rain-slicked streets, wipers thumping like a heartbeat. How could he? How could she? Laura, who'd pretended to be my friend, sharing wine and gossip, all while stealing my husband. Obsession hardened into resolve. They wouldn't get away with this. I'd make them pay, slowly, methodically. But doubt whispered, was I capable? Revenge fantasies played out, exposing them at the next family gathering, watching their world crumble. Or something darker, something that would leave scars. I started planning in secret. First, gather more evidence. I installed a tracker on his car, hacked into their emails, skills from my tech-savvy days. The messages poured in, graphic and damning. Last night was incredible. Emily's clueless. Each one fueled my cold fury. But moral conflict tugged at me. Was this right? Destroying a family, even a twisted one. Guilt gnawed, but resentment won. They humiliated me. Now I'd humiliate them. Subtle hints began. Anonymous tips to his firm about ethical concerns, whispers to mutual friends. Tension built at home. Mark grew paranoid, snapping at shadows. Laura called once, voice syrupy. "Everything okay, Em? You seem distant." I bit back, rage playing along. "Just busy." The slow burn ignited. One evening, I accidentally left a printed email on the table. Mark found it, eyes widening. "What have you done?" he hissed. Smiled icy. "Nothing yet." Fear flickered in his eyes, the first taste of justice. But I wasn't done. The pursuit had just begun. The rain hammered the roof like accusations as I sat in the dim glow of my home office, plotting the endgame. Weeks had passed since the confrontation, and the house felt like a battlefield. Silent truces broken by barbed words. Mark slept on the couch now. His snores a mocking reminder of what we'd lost. But loss had forged me anew. From shattered wife to avenger, my resolve as unyielding as the cliffs where it all started. I documented everything. Photos from hidden cameras in Laura's condo, recordings of their whispered confessions. The evidence was a weapon, sharp and ready. Inner turmoil raged. Part of me screamed to walk away, file for divorce, rebuild. But fantasies of justice consumed me. Their faces when exposed, the family's horror, their lives in ruins. Doubt crept in during quiet moments. What if I became the monster? Moral conflict twisted like a knife. They betrayed me, but revenge might taint my soul. Yet resentment overpowered it. They'd stolen my trust, my dignity. Poetic justice demanded balance. I started small, building suspense like a tightening noose. An anonymous email to Mark's boss, hinting at personal indiscretions affecting work. He came home frantic, tie askew, sweat beading on his forehead. "Someone's after me, Emily. You have to help." His plea stirred a flicker of old love, but I quashed it. "Maybe it's karma," I said coolly, sipping wine that burned like acid. He eyed me suspiciously but said nothing. Tension thickened, the air heavy with unspoken threats. Laura sensed it too. She invited me for coffee. Her cafe a cozy trap of steaming lattes and faux concern. The place smelled of fresh pastries and espresso, but nausea churned my stomach. "Mark says you're going through a rough patch," she purred, her blue eyes, so like his, feigning sympathy. Her hand reached across the table, but I pulled back. "Don't touch me," I echoed, watching her flinch. Satisfaction bloomed, dark and sweet. "What's wrong, Em? We're family." Her voice trembled slightly, a crack in her facade. I leaned in, whispering, "Family doesn't fuck each other." Her face drained of color, the cafe's chatter fading to a distant hum. "You know," she gasped. "Everything." I slid a folder across. Printouts, photos. She flipped through them, hands shaking, tears welling. "Please, it wasn't meant to hurt you. It just happened." Excuses spilled. Childhood crushes evolving into forbidden passion. Guilt buried under desire. But her words rang hollow. "You humiliated me," I said, voice steady despite the storm inside. "Now it's your turn." She begged. "What are you going to do?" I smiled enigmatically. "Wait and see." Obsession drove me deeper. I hacked their shared accounts, draining small sums. Enough to notice, not enough to trace easily. Mark accused hackers. Laura grew paranoid, changing locks. I watched from afar, a shadow in their lives. Fear turned to arguments. I overheard one on a bugged call. "She's onto us," Laura hissed. "We have to stop." Mark's reply chilled me. "Or make sure she can't talk." A threat. My pulse raced. Was this paranoia or had betrayal bred danger? Planning escalated. I researched, discreetly through encrypted browsers, ways to expose without direct confrontation. But fantasies darkened. What if I framed them? Planted evidence of embezzlement at his firm, linking her. Moral grayness enveloped me. Justification whispered they deserved it. Guilt surfaced in dreams, nightmares of bloodied hands, echoing screams. Yet cold resolve pushed on. The climax brewed at the family reunion, a month after the party. The estate again, cliffs roaring with waves below. Tension simmered as guests mingled, oblivious. Mark and Laura arrived separately, but their glances betrayed them. Stolen touches, whispered words. I played the dutiful wife, smile plastered, but inside fury boiled. During dinner, crystal clinking, I rose. "A toast," I announced, voice carrying over the murmurs. Hearts pounded, mine theirs. "To family secrets." I projected the evidence on the wall, via hidden device. Messages, photos flashing in stark light. Gasps erupted. Mark's parents blanched. Aunts whispered. Laura sobbed. "It's not true." Mark lunged for the remote, but too late. "Emily, you bitch," he roared, face contorted in rage. Chaos ensued, shouts, chairs scraping. His mother fainted. Father demanded explanations. Humiliation washed over them, mirroring mine. But the twist came swift, unforeseen. As security dragged Mark away, he turned, eyes wild. "You think this is over? Laura and we were gonna leave you anyway. But now," he laughed maniacally. "Check the basement." Police arrived, anonymous tip from me, but searched further. In our home's basement, hidden compartments. Documents, not just affair proof but fraud. They'd been siphoning my inheritance, planning my accident for insurance. Mark's parting shot. "We never loved you. It was always us." Shock hit like lightning. Betrayal deeper than imagined. Not just lust but greed, potential murder. My revenge meant psychological, uncovered attempted homicide. Poetic justice. Or unintended salvation. As they were arrested, handcuffs clicking like finality. Guilt mingled with triumph. I'd won, but at what cost? The family shattered, I stood alone on the cliffs, wind whipping my hair, waves crashing below. Heartbreak lingered, but resolve hardened. Sometimes revenge saves you from the abyss. In the aftermath, doubt faded. They rotted in cells. I rebuilt, scars etching my soul. But freedom tasted sweet, laced with the bitter tang of what I'd become. A survivor, morally gray, unrepentant.